I'm sure many in our audience have heard of it. Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? Well, we have a spin on that, just a little bit of a spin. Where is Williamson Valley? Well, we have the lady here that's going to tell you where Williamson Valley is and all about it. It's Kathy Lopez, and she's the author of Images of America. Good morning, Kathy.
Williamson Valley Road, yes, we say Williamson Valley Road, and we can get a lock on that. We can get a visual. Then we say Williamson Valley. Well, I'm sure the road runs through the valley, but how big is the valley? Where is it?
Well, that was a question.
Or is there a Williamson Valley?
Yes,
okay.
There is a Williamson Valley, but do you mean the geographical Williams Valley, or do you mean where people live in Williamson Valley?
Please don't confuse me.
There is a Williamson Valley.
There is a Williamson
We've
Valley,
established that.
right. So that was one of the questions that had to be answered when this book was being written, because the book is about the road, Williamson Valley Road, but you don't want to just hear about the road. I mean, you want to hear about just asphalt, you know. But
right.
So to write the book, we had to go all the way back to 400 AD, and we started 400 AD, and we started the very first paragraph, the very first chapter.
They didn't know where Williamson Valley was either, huh?
It was paths, just paths. The first chapter is about all the native people that just use the paths, because
right.
see, you don't just wake up one morning and have an asphalt road running in front of your house. Where does that road come from? No. So, okay.
I always thought that you did.
No. And so you have to start with why is that road even there? And
because somebody made a path.
Well, and why is there a path there though? Oh. Why do you take a path from your neighbor's house to your house? You might want to borrow sugar.
To get from here to there.
Okay, well, what the native people needed to do was they needed to get from water sources to food sources to places to live. So they lived at the base of Granite Mountain. They hunted out, and where we think of Prescott National Forest, they went to the Colorado River to do the trading. That's where the paths came from.
I was asking Tanya before the show, where does Williamson Valley Road end? Does it go all the way to Seligman? Where does it go?
No, that's it. And that was another thing too. We had to go, when we read the book, we went to the county and sat down and said, okay, where does actually Williamson Valley begin and end? And if you go out, you can see this really well now, because if you see where the city is working on widening Williamson Valley Road, Shadow Valley Road is where Williamson Valley Road. You start at Iron Springs, go by a judd, right. And then you're on Williamson Valley Road. But then we went into the county. Where's the city? Where's the county? It's about where the Willow Creek Bridge is. That's about where the city and the county separate. It's actually Shadow Valley Road. Okay. And then you go about 20 miles more up north past the Las Vegas Ranch, and you get to Camp Wood. Road.
I'm with you so far.
Okay, that's where the pavement ends. All right, that's where Williamson Valley Road ends, and the reason why does it end there? Why doesn't Williamson Valley Road go all the way? Why was it
not going to walk any further? I guess.
You know what? That's got too many lies.
And you know what? The best thing is all those questions are answered in the book. Because why does the pavement end there? Well, it was the Simmons-Prescott Highway. I mean, even if you pull out a map now, you'll still see Simmons Highway on the maps. When I moved here, I thought I lived off Williamson Valley Road, but every time I picked up a map, it said Simmons Highway. Okay, the county doesn't have all of the right-of-ways from the end of that pavement all the way to Seligman. There are bits and pieces, so the county couldn't make that whole road Williamson Valley Road.
So we've got to give Simmons Road the credit for getting us from Williamson Valley Road to Seligman.
Yes.
Okay.
So start at Iron Springs Road. You're on the city of part of Williamson Valley Road for about 2 miles. Then you're going to hit the county part of the road. Then in 20 miles, you're going to hit the end of the pavement, and then you're going to be on the Simmons Highway. And that's going to take you up to Walnut Creek, which is another chapter in the book, because Walnut Creek
has a huge history.
Well, there were 300 people living in Walnut Creek before there was the town of Phoenix. That was a big developed area out there. There were 3 restaurants out there. There was a camp, an encampment, a military camp.
Is there anything there now?
There's ranches. That's where the K4 is, the Key
Okay.
Keffer's Ranch, and that whole history is explored in this book. All the different owners, the water rights there. You remember J.R. Williams, the cartoonist, one of the most famous cartoonists in the whole, actually, the United States, but he was seen all over the world. And he lived out there, and he's like, why? Why would, speaking of whys, why would one of the most famous cartoonists in the world live out there? And then why would one of, but you know what, it's funny because when he did go out there, he had people there all the time. They had auto tours and all that. He was a host. He actually drew a lot of the people that lived out there into his cartoons. He gave away his cartoons. And then one of the richest men in the United States lives out there. Why? Why would the richest man, one of the richest men in the United States, move out to Walnut Creek area and have a ranch out there? So all these different whys are explored, and this is the first time a book has been written that looks at these families and asks, why did they live there? What were they benefiting from?
Kathy, the Simmons Road, can it still get you to, is it still in, can you still traverse it and get
Very
to? Okay.
easily. Yeah, you can go all the way to Sligman, and that's where the railroad came in. That's one of the reasons why that part's developed. You know what? So the people were coming in from the Colorado River and coming through, and there were all kinds of way stations coming into Walnut Creek and then going into Prescott. But actually, they were going into the military encampment.
Oh, yeah.
Whipple. Okay,
Yeah,
Whipple.
yeah,
Okay,
Fort
Whipple.
Whipple.
Whipple was there way
Right,
before
exactly.
Prescott.
Yeah, it was.
But then why would people go from Walnut Creek up to Saline?
And the richest man being,
Key Keffer. Okay.
i.e. Key Keffer Ranch.
So, but the railroad started coming down. You know, there's railroads.
That was
over
the
by
milk
Tina.
cartons. Didn't he do the milk
He did
cartons?
not only did milk cartons,
He
he
did
did
milk
the dynamite. They were able, because of his plastic cartons, they were able to float the dynamite into the
Wow, I didn't know that one.
Fascinating.
Well, you'll know all that.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. When we come back, we're going to talk about the deadliest form of cancer.
But first, Tanya's going to let you know how to get out to Williamson Valley Road safely with good transportation.
480, there wasn't a Prescott Honda. They had to just walk that sucker, but now you can drive it and you get there more quickly. Yes. Anyway, Prescott Honda is the place to buy your automobile. They're on Iron Springs Road, and if you follow Iron Springs out far enough, then you can turn on Williamson Valley, and away you go. Prescott Honda, I bought my car there, and I'm going to buy my next car there, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Shop around. There's other places sell cars, of course. We know that. When it comes time to write your check, though, write it to Prescott Honda.
Your entire life has been a journey. You deserve the best. Opening in the summer of 2011, Alta Vista Retirement Community offers the pinnacle of retirement living in Prescott. Surrounded by stunning views, Alta Vista Retirement Community celebrates your independence and personal choices.